What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cloudy Thoughts. I'm your host, Lo-Fi Monk. And man, it's been a crazy week for cloud gaming, period. Just cloud gaming has been crazy this week. Stadia with all the blog posts. Like, cut it out already. I don't need any more game. Just kidding. Don't stop. I need games. But yeah, got a special guest tonight. He's running a little bit late. So hopefully he's going to pop up here soon. But that'll give everybody a little bit more time to get into the chat. We actually have two special guests tonight. A new member of the Cloudy Thoughts team, my co-host tonight, PurpleHaze. How you doing, PurpleHaze?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
I love the setup.
Oh, thank you.
For everybody that can't see, PurpleHaze has a purple haze.
Now you know. Now you know where the name comes from.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, right now we're just waiting on Mayne Games to get here. Like I said, hopefully he's gonna be popping up soon. Let's see. So, Purple. We were talking a little bit about before the show, and we were kind of talking about like what brought you to cloud gaming.
Yeah, so I think I've talked about it a few times, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily something brought me to cloud gaming as much as like cloud gaming brought me back to gaming.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So like I think growing up I was really into Nintendo and probably the greatest franchise ever, Zelda, and that was really that was it. And then I went off to school, and then as a lot of people, I see Climax and WinStar, and a lot of people who I've gamed with and talked to, they know I'm a veteran. Shout out to WinStar, thank you for your service. And I just didn't really have time to play, and I was in the military for about 12 years, and so after that I kind of like went into the workforce, and I just didn't really have gaming. It just fell out of the balance of my life. And so
could you imagine having cloud gaming during that time?
Oh, it would have been crazy. It would have been so much like just what cloud gaming stands for. It would have been incredible.
A little vacation, well,
yeah,
so to speak.
I mean, well, so what people don't realize is like, so when you deploy or you like get stationed somewhere, a lot of times, like when you move, you have like your rucksack, or not your rucksack, your duffel bag. You may only get like 2 of those. That's like your whole life for like 12 to 18 months, depending on what your deployment cycle looks like. So space is a premium for that. And especially back then, if you think about, the console and the games, and it just wouldn't have worked out, especially when thinking about some of those locations you're going to. Probably not the best thing to be playing Call of Duty when like the duty is calling, basically in the war zone. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's another thing you don't really think about, like being able to just the mobility of it. Like you kind of take it like at least for me, because I'm home all the time, so it's like I don't think about the fact that like this, you can literally take this anywhere,
Yeah, no, and we'll talk about that in a second. I think I know I kind of like you previewed like a little of the conversation we're gonna have, but yeah, I think that's gonna be like incredible what cloud gaming can do, especially some of the platforms that I know a lot of us play on, particularly Stadia. And thank you, Josh, for the comment on the setup, and WinStar, both y'all. Thank you. It's It says it's why I'm purple.
Well, I guess while we wait for Mayne, we'll go ahead and jump into a little bit of the news. There's a whole lot going on. We'll just get into a little bit of it. Let me bring up my show notes here. Yeah, so Tuesday, the Stadia blog post. They set, well, they didn't really set a release date for all this stuff, but there's Mad Streets, Ryan Rescue Squad, ESO Online's got some DLC coming out on Monday, March 14th. Dead by Daylight has the DLC with the weird, creepy crawling out of the well chick, and Dead by Daylight is free to play all weekend right now. So that was a lot just for one blog post, and then they kept hitting us over and over again all week. So let's see, Wednesday they did a blog post for City Skylines, and is it Paradox Interactive? Yeah, Paradox Interactive, and it's coming out in spring 2022. What else? What was the other two? Overcooked and Golf with Friends. That's the other two they mentioned. I don't really know about Golf with Friends, but that Overcooked game looks kind of cool. It looks like kind of like a Merrick's Market.
Yeah. No, I heard a lot about Overcooked. Some of my friends were getting pretty excited about it. They said it was actually pretty hard. What's up, Saw?
It looks like a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, no, they say it's like definitely one of those games that you're gonna get frustrated with your teammates, because it's definitely you gotta work together, and the game like throws you different things. And I use Stadia with my coworkers a lot of times, so I'm really looking forward to working with them on this. So
some team building.
Yeah.
So then on let's see, on Thursday we got hit with another blog post, and it was all Ubisoft Dlc that's coming out. Well, I guess it's not DLC for us, it's just add-ons. You don't have to download anything. But yeah, anyway, that's cool. That's a lot of games. We don't normally get a lot of announcements like that. It's really cool to see Stadia being active.
Yeah, I think.
No, go ahead.
I think one of the big things is, if for everyone who's part of the community, as y'all know, back in earlier this year, Stadia sent that like survey, and a lot of people were, making fun of like Stadia for like, oh, you're sending a survey, how like cheap is that? But I think they're really taking it to heart, and this blog post is like proof of that. Is that people are like, hey, we want to know more about the games coming out. We want to know this, and I think they're stepping up to the plate and providing some information and things to keep us engaged. And it's not just like one type of gamer, right? It's kind of the whole gambit right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like I've been waiting for some RTS games and things like I'm waiting for them to expand out. I know there are some kind of RTS type game. I don't know. But I nothing that I'm ready to play, but I'm looking forward to them expanding out to these different, like for example, the Adam Wolf game. I didn't mind that game so much. I know a lot of people were like, they're gonna flood Stadia or whatever they were talking about. But it was a good game. There's a lot of good games, all these independent. Like Dawn of Monsters was amazing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are into Dawn of Monsters. I haven't really jumped into it, but I know Suave, he's in the chat. He's always about it. Cowboy, he's gone up and down on it, but I think he's pretty up on it. And then just
Yeah.
watching a lot of other people, play it looks like obviously it's pretty addicting. So I need to maybe check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the Climax though, because he's gonna be on the show tomorrow night, and he did an interview with 13 a.m. the other day.
Oh wow.
So yeah, he got to ask about the multiplayer situation and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be
that's pretty
talking.
cool.
We'll be talking to him about that tomorrow. So if y'all haven't caught that, check out his channel. Check out his channel and check out that interview. But yeah, there's something else I'm forgetting here. Wired Productions. Yeah, they're the ones that publish Martha's Dead. So they got, so far on Stadia, they have Falconeer and Avicii. Bring Us the Moon's one that's going to be coming in April. There's already Adam Wolf, and then City Legends will be coming. So these are all from Wired Productions. And from what I've heard, I think it was on Sunny Cloud Gaming. They were talking about in Discord, Ninja Guy X had asked, he was joking around saying, bring all the games to Stadia. And they responded to him and said that was their plan, that they've been planning that. So that's really cool. They got a huge selection.
I mean, I think it's just like, people have said cloud gaming's in its infancy, but I mean, I think like, what does that mean? Whether it's player based, whether it's, publisher adoption, whether it's content or developer building games in the cloud. I think it's all those things, and it takes a while for publishers to get ramped up. I think people forget that like roughly 26 months ago, Stadia was just like unveiling. And so there's always like this, like, okay, let's check and see. Oh, by the way, during like the exact same time period, there was a global pandemic that people are not going into their office to do things. So I think we're going to probably get a waterfall of titles, publishers, and a lot of them who've just been delaying that investment of taking games to the cloud, as well as others who are starting to see the savings for really collaborating over the cloud. Bungie's a great example, case study as a company that's really taken advantage of that over the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. So you had found an article. Oh, was that Mayne? I think that was Mayne.
What's up?
Tis I.
Mayne Games!
What's up, man?
To all my Metal Gear friends, kept you waiting, huh? I'm sorry, you guys. Had life, man. Life is life. It doesn't matter. I'm here. Thank you for having me on today's show, man. I appreciate you, PurpleHaze. It's great to see you and see you in person. I think this is kind of like the first time we're actually meeting. So this is awesome. This is like really awesome. Chat, what's going on? How y'all doing? Lo-Fi, my man. What's going on with you? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Glad you could finally join us.
Yes, yeah. Just don't look. If you were to see how I was driving just now, not good. But we made it. We good. Let's get this show on the road, man. How's everybody doing out there? Good, I hope. No, my mic.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Someone said my mic is different.
I think it's I think you're like on your, you're not on your USB microphone or.
No, I am. It's yeah, that's crazy.
Because it sounds like you're far away.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah.
How about now?
Ah,
How's that work? Is that too loud now? Or is that good?
That is perfect.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna save everybody the whole spiel. It's good to see you finally in person. PurpleHaze, good to meet you, my man. Lo-Fi, thank you so much for the invite. And chat, I hope everybody's doing well. Life is life, but we on track today. So let's get it.
Yes, we're here. We're here. So what's up, man? How have you been? Hope you've been well. I know today's been crazy. We've been talking a lot lately.
Yeah, Windstar saw my itinerary for today, and he even was like, "Yo." So, but you know what? It's good, man. I'm glad to be here and glad that I was able to do what I'm able to do. But you know, life happens, like you said. Life happens sometimes, and you just got to roll with the punches. So, here I am.
That's what's up, man. So we were just talking about we just talked about all the new blog posts and all the games that Stadia is talking about bringing. Have you got a chance to look at any of the new games that are coming?
So yeah, I did. So there are the games that, of course, that we're playing now. Of course, well, for me, like some of the pro games that were released, like Darksiders Genesis and all that stuff, they just came out recently, and then some of the games that are coming out, later on. I did see several of them. There's a couple that I'm kind of like waiting to see. If you're talking about golfing with your friends, is that one of the games you're mentioning? And some of the other games?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that golfing with your friends might be the new Uno for me. And for me, I think that like for those who were in 360 days, like we used to play like Gears of War, Halo, and all that stuff during the day. We was in clans. We would go all out and have all these competitive battles and shootouts. And then at the end of the night, when everything was quiet and everything was still, you get an invite to Uno, with your boys, and we all just get in Uno and we just chill. And I think that that's what golfing with your friends might end up being the new Uno in that respect. So that's probably the one I'm most hype about.
That's what's up. Yeah, for sure. Because it does look pretty chill. Like I'm kind of waiting for that battle billiards games.
Okay. Yeah,
that seems pretty chill.
I think we're looking forward to City Skylines too.
Oh, dude,
I've never played a City Skylines, so this would be interesting for me.
That's what I was saying. That's something I've been looking forward to. Something like that. So maybe it'll scratch that itch for me.
I think so. Got to give it a chance, Lo-Fi.
Yeah, for sure. All these games that I probably wouldn't have even given a second look before, and it's like they've hooked me. Right.
They've got some games coming, for sure, and I think that along with the, I think we'll probably touch on it later, but some of the other things that they've been finding might get people excited about what may be coming to the platform in time, I think.
So, what do you guys think about Luna coming out of beta and the streaming thing that they've done? The direct streaming.
You know, for me personally, I am like I think it's awesome. You know, I think that just that integration that they've done with Twitch and really like lowering that barrier to entry for people who want to stream is just amazing. I think if any, I think the Stadia community's been asking for that. And obviously the biggest thing to make a company move is if a competitor gets that capability or that feature. So I'm really looking forward to, the YouTube team, the Stadia team coming together and making something. And maybe, doing what Luna did and improving on what Luna's done and maybe giving the Stadia community a few more features with their streaming capabilities.
That's actually awesome. And I think this, for me, it's cool because now this is a way of the way of Amazon saying, okay, we've tested the waters, we got it out to the people who were early adopters, the betas and things like that, and now we feel confident in our tech, our lineup to be able to say, okay, we can push things forward. And I think that for me as a person who plays on hardware and cloud, I think it's just great for gaming in general. Whether you want to say it's cloud gaming, whether you want to say it's hardware gaming, I think in general any other platform or any other way that you can offer someone some sort of product, whether it's at a certain price or whatnot, I think that it's all good for the space as a whole. So I'm glad that it's out of beta, and hopefully we'll get games like New World and Lost Ark that come to the platform soon.
Well, Perp, has found an article that is very interesting. I'm gonna let Perp take the floor on this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, y'all know I like to bring in like a business side, talk about the things that aren't necessarily said, but are definitely out there when you look for it. And so there's this article that I found in it's an interview. Can y'all see that? Yet? Hey, look, can you share the screen or?
There it is.
There it is. Yes. So it's an article. It's Sarah Bond is being interviewed by McKinsey, the business strategy house, and for the most part, she's one of the most powerful women in gaming. If you don't know, she's the head of Microsoft's gaming ecosystem organization. So basically, how Microsoft thinks about their entire ecosystem of gaming. So in this article, and you can see if you go to the description, you can see this link. I'll probably put it in chat here in a second. It's really cool because she describes cloud gaming in very basic terms. So really talking about how it's different than console gaming, thinking about, what they're looking at, really how they're positioning Game Pass. It is just a really great article. It's really easy to read, like I said, not too dense. And she just really goes through just the entire business case. So I know, everyone here, a lot of us are, we like Stadia for cloud gaming. We haven't really, Microsoft, I know there's a lot of opinions on that. So as I read this, there was a second where I was like, something doesn't sound right. So I read it again. And there's one particular section in this entire article that I think sums up why I had some issues with the article. And it's right here. They asked Sarah her vision for cloud gaming. So vision statements. This is aspirational. This is not today. This is the future. I want to highlight this one paragraph and I'll read it. And I'll see, I'm pretty sure chat's going to understand why I was kind of confused. It says, our vision for the gaming industry is that anyone should be able to play any game anywhere they want. That's not how the industry works today. Right now, the industry is split up by platform. It's split up by type of game. It's not actually possible to play seamlessly across devices. All right, now, a lot of us have played Stadia, a lot. We play, some of us Luna as well. And we know that today, we can actually play across devices, right? We know that there is crossplay. We know that we can play on anything out there. And so it's really interesting. So when people talk about Microsoft and all the noise they're making with their buys and they're way ahead of the curve, that's where things are going. It's just really interesting that this company, this multi-trillion-dollar company, and I'll stop sharing here in a second. I'll link if y'all want it. This company is saying this is our aspirational goal for the industry. In actuality is industry is already there. If you want some of this, it's there. And so I just thought that was it's a great art. It's a great interview all the way through. She talks about how big, the market shares, 3 billion gamers, how to do it. But it's just really interesting because if you start to hear what she wants to do, what they want to do, it's as if you're reading Stadia's resume. Because Stadia's almost doing all of that already and more. And it's wow, that would be really cool if a cloud gaming platform wanted their players to really know what's going on behind the scenes. What are you doing with your development? Right. And so I think that's even more cool that Stadia's you know what, players, gamers, everyone, we're going to invite you to that. We know it's going to be a developer, we know it's tech, but we think you're going to still get something out of it. To me, this is the definition of what I think is Stadia's most powerful statement. And this is why it's kind of my signature block at work as well in Stadia. People look at me crazy, but the proof is in the gaming, right? The proof is what we're playing. It's not I'm just talking. Everyone here has played on multiple things, has played no download times, has been able to turn off your screen, go to the TV, but you tested it out. You wanted it to break and it didn't break. So I just wanted to pull that out because that was actually published back in January. So a month into some week. This isn't 2020 Bill Spencer. This is recent.
That's
that came out.
That's like when I hear people get into the argument of what the hardware actually is and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they start talking about GeForce Now and the hardware they're using. And it's like, I don't care if it's a hamster in a wheel if it works.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's an interesting article because as someone who plays on Stadia, Luna, I have GeForce, my son uses it, and even recently I kind of got back into xCloud just to test how things work. It's interesting how they talk about that, but yeah, I mean, in a way, if you want to look at xCloud as an example per this article, for all intents and purposes, it does have that functionality. It doesn't have, of course, where you can connect to a TV yet and things like that. But I'm able to play on my phone, my iPad, my computer, all those things through xCloud. And yet she's talking as if she's not aware that they've made those strides, which is interesting. So that
right, like they don't even
like she doesn't even know that they've done that. Like somebody probably walked into her like, actually, we did that already. We have done some of that stuff. I don't know if you know. Did you get the email? I don't know. So it's interesting how like that, when you read that, it kind of made me furrow my eyebrows too, because I'm like, is she aware that even though it's not on the level of Stadia yet that as it stands, you know, as far as where you can play and how you can play, there's some of these things that are actually being done on that side. So I was like, well, does she know?
You know, Mayne, I think that's a great question. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Sarah. Like, just as a woman of color, a woman in gaming, I'm not gonna hate her. It's more or less, I think, that it just like, it's interesting the companies that are talking about it.
Yes.
You know, and maybe trying to shape that narrative of what they're doing versus the companies. You know, I'll be the first to say I think like Google and Amazon maybe can do a little bit more in what they're doing on the back end. Mm-hmm. But to me, like what she's saying is her aspirational vision. It's like, I don't know. I think I want to go a little bit further.
Don't you want to set the bar a little higher? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. I'll check that article out for sure, because I've seen her several times, especially like at some of the Xbox events and things like that. They brought her out or they've talked about her, so I'll definitely check out that article. But that is interesting that you say that, and you said like, you know, it kind of speaks to the resume of that Stadia already has, and it's very interesting. I'll definitely have to give that a read and come up with my own thoughts about it too.
Yeah, you know, we talk all the time, man. I would love for everyone to just like dig into it. And like I said, it came out January 2022. It's a collaboration with McKinsey, so you would think like McKinsey would have called her out on it by now, but it just like I said, I had to read it a couple of times just to just say like, really, is that like it's a great, like I said, if you want to understand the narrative of cloud gaming and get some basic information and tidbits, it's great for that as well. But like I said, where it matters is like where you're going. Right. And am I excited for that? And I was like,
yeah, it's well, Suna Live says that's just Xbox being Xbox. She knows what cloud gaming is, and it's I kind of feel like they're possibly, like, if we didn't do it, then it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I can see that, but you know, I think there's another company who I'd save that statement for, and I think we all know without even saying who that is, because they're in their own world and they're just now starting to come out and play. But yeah, I mean that's possible that they could be looking at it like that too. Meanwhile, Phil Spencer's still out there shaking hands and kissing babies. Love the guy, and I even tweeted him one time if he could be my stepdad. But you know, that's just Xbox being Xbox, I guess you could say.
Oh man, wow. And takes a sip.
So let's move on to something I saw on Twitter earlier today.
Let's do it.
Have you guys seen this? If it pops up.
It did pop up.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. It's the future.
Holtz asked if Phil replied with an answer. No, he didn't. He also didn't block me either, so there's still a chance. There's still time. But you know what? This article is interesting because it leads me to this thought that I've had just and I think Holtz and I have talked about it on the podcast, and it's the mentality that there's always this mode of defense. Like you're always in defense of a product or something that you stand by, which I understand to a point. You defend and you express your support for in other ways, but sometimes it's like from those comments like that or those articles, whether or not they're true or whether or not they're clickbait or opinion pieces, it really riles up the community. It really it gets them. And sometimes I'm just like, whoa, like I'm new to Stadia like that, right? But sometimes when I see some of the articles, I see people just like going at it, and I just
I see it really affect a lot of people too in a negative way. But at the same time, I think when that happens, like I wonder if it's like a way to smear cloud gaming to like slow it down from other companies.
Possible,
But at the same time, it's like, do you know what you're doing? You're just like you don't understand this community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just fueling it.
Yeah. I think that also that we talked about yesterday on the podcast I was on is that we need to start holding some of these I guess you could say these outlets responsible, and what that means is I think we should be looking at the content that they're putting out, and whether or not like we feel a certain way about it. Of course, we know that there's like gone are the days of certain amounts of journalistic integrity or just taking your job at that point seriously, to where you're closely working with companies and trying to figure out the best way to put out the most objective story about what a company is doing and how they're making strides and things like that. I think that now it's more this is what's going on, this is what's making the rounds, let's copy it, let's adjust it, and let's put it out. And I think that we're not getting enough people who are really saying, hey, this company is doing this is what we've seen, this is where it could go, let's see what happens. Put everybody, let's keep your eyes out for this and let it go that way, instead of people saying, hey, they're trying to do this, it's not working, it's gonna die. There's a difference in the way that it's presented, and I think that in a way, if people aren't really taking I wouldn't say taking advantage, but looking into these things and they get into these articles, man, like how are we going to hold these outlets accountable? I think Sony did something similar where they said, hey, that's not true. What you said about us isn't true. And then of course, after that, they hushed, they were really quiet and then kind of like disappeared after that. But I think if we did that and really started to call these outlets out on some of their BS, then maybe things would be a little bit different moving forward, and the opinions might change as far as what companies like Google are trying to do, and let them live.
Yeah. I think that cloud gaming is the future. The war's already been won. Yeah, I just some of these articles are just ridiculous. Like you said, it's holding them accountable is the problem,
I think so. What are your thoughts on that, PurpleHaze? Like, do you feel like there is should people really be feeding into it, or should people kind of just let these things let it go and just wait on Google or any company that they support or whatever, let them put out things as they need to?
Yeah, I think, I'm kind of split, right? I think like some people, there is a business, and they always say if it bleeds, it reads. So there's definitely that going on for a lot of things. But at the same time, not gonna say my age, but like we've seen this before with other types of where media like kind of transitions from hard like physical assets to digital to the cloud. What I think about is music.
Okay.
And when we were thinking about like CDs, burning CDs and Napster, and like then iTunes came out, if you're like, it's an MP4, right. I don't. So and if you look at that, it just took some few years, and now it's like we don't even. We just stream it. I just go talk to my speaker to play something, and then it finds like another song I didn't even know existed. So I think like when we talk about cloud gaming and we talk about Stadia in general, or any of them, right. They're gonna do what they're like. if you think about their roadmaps, they are so far. We just talked about like what Microsoft said. Like, oh, Microsoft said it. It must be true.
Right.
Yeah, put the wheels in motion on this like a little while ago. So, like, yeah, you can read into it. You can like do what you want. Like I said, I'm gonna just say it again. Proof is in the gaming, and I'm just gonna play.
Right. So okay, I know everybody wants to talk about the Google for games developer stuff. But I got one more thing before we get there. There was a 9 to 5 Google. They do this thing where they break down the Stadia app. Like every time there's an update, they'll break it down and look in the code just to see what Google's working on, what kind of little changes they're making, things like this. So things that they noticed in there were motion controls. They noticed something in the code that said broadcaster and spectator.
Mm-hmm.
And me and you kind of talked about this, Mayne, about how maybe there's like going to be this way you can spectate your friends.
Yes.
Like with whatever game they're playing.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really dope, man.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I remember there was a back in the days of OnLive, they had that feature. And it was like, people were like, why would anybody watch somebody else play video games?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like looking back, right? Like, wow. Like people said stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They laughed about it too when they were saying it. It was just like, well, that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Look what happened to Justin TV.
Yeah.
It became something called Twitch.
Also, another thing they noticed in the code was and this I thought this to myself when Adam Wolf came out and then they announced that City Legends game.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like freaking out, thinking Google's gonna fill up with shovelware or whatever it is. But me personally, when I saw that, I was like, dude, I guarantee they're working on the touch controls and they need some games that people are going to use. You know what I mean? So they can test it.
Yeah, I feel like what they're doing is they're laying down the foundations and adding some features so that way they can have a library of games to take advantage of those, if certain or if not all of those features. So a marbles game or any of the games where you can access certain features through gyroscopic controls will be great. On top of that, it's also something that you could do when looking at accessibility as well. So there's a lot of things that they could be doing and a lot of ways that they could approach this. And I think that this is great. This would be great for all parties involved. But I think they're just kind of like laying the foundations and laying some hints. And once they put those things in and implement them, then we can start getting some of these games that will take advantage of all those.
Right. Well, one of the things they were thinking with like the touch gamepad, they were thinking maybe the developers would be able to make like custom touch controls for their, for their games. Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed while streaming Adam Wolf was on my stream, because I direct stream using Stadia, I noticed that my stream did not capture the mouse pointer. And I was like, okay, well, when you hit the Stadia button, it doesn't capture the Stadia menu, right? So I'm like, all right, so apparently it doesn't capture the HTML elements that are on your screen. And I was like, dude, the mouse pointer must be just an HTML element following your... I just was like, whoa, it was just crazy. So like, I mean, I guess that's part of like them being able to make custom controls for their game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, didn't they, I could be wrong, but didn't they also mention something about revisiting the on-screen touch controls in a way too? Is that what kind of like you're alluding to also?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how they're going to revamp them. I think that it is something worth looking into. I think what I've heard people talk about is that for certain hand sizes, sometimes it isn't the best feeling or it doesn't work out the way that they expect it. So I don't know if they may allow people to resize them or move things around a certain way or add more
I don't know
customization,
how
but I don't
people
know.
do it. I don't know. I need that tactile feeling, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I've
But
tried
people
it.
do it.
Yeah, I've tried it, and it does what it's supposed to do. But certain games is just like you're not going to sit there and do a match of Gambit on Destiny 2 on touch control. That's just not going to work. But there's other games that will actually it's great for. So I think they'll just probably revisit it to see how things go. By the way, Shooky Chris, what's going on, man? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, man.
But you know, one thing Squids had brought up on his show was like, what if you could play like Dirt 5 or like with the motion controls? You know, you like hold your phone in your hand as a steering wheel. Or I was like, that's a pretty cool idea. So like they're working on features for sure. Another thing I noticed is now there's when you start a party chat in the phone app, you can actually do voice now.
Ah, I think we need Nintendo to take some cues from this.
Well, I mean, I'm really hoping they're working on that. So like you can stream from your Chrome, the CCU, you know?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't capture your voice.
Yeah, I think that this would be a great way to do that. I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes it might be a little difficult. I think that I would see it work best, me personally, right? Having tried some chat functions and features on my phone through speaker, right? Sometimes because when you talk over somebody and things like that, you miss each other. I think that in certain situations, unless you're having a chill kind of, session, then that will work. But man, like don't jump in there and try to play, Dead by Daylight. You try to talk to each other like, no one's gonna hear anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it would be a cool feature to add for those people who want to be able to do that, and have that voice chat functionality.
For sure. Yeah, they're doing things. So
for sure,
we got Stadia making their come up, and they have the Google for Games Developer Summit coming up on Tuesday, right? And some people are, they're getting really hyped about it.
Yeah.
And I just it's gonna be a developer summit. It's not gonna be E3. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Don't expect Gamescom or none of that. Like this is this is strictly under the hood stuff.
But it's gonna be really good stuff though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the things I expect to hear from there is like about the expansion to other countries, because that is something developers are going to be interested in. Because if you can bring your game to a market where no games were reaching before, like
right,
you know what I mean? That's going to open up so much to cloud gaming, just those regions alone. It's going to change the game.
I think that will be a great start in that direction. I know a couple people. Have a friend who lives in Australia, and she's like, I would love to take advantage of cloud gaming so bad, but the infrastructure is not the best. So I'm thinking that they're working on ways. Like I think they just got their first a little off topic, Final Fantasy 14 server there for finally for them to be able to play. But I think that she said they're still a long ways away from making sure they have access to things like that. But still, I think that if people like if she were to watch that dev conference, just to see that they're saying, hey, we're making strides, we're working on it, and we're doing what we can to make sure that we get this product and this content out to as many people as possible, even you, whoever that may be. I think that that's the kind of stuff that people want to see, and they want to see that effort being made, I think. And it's exciting to me.
I want to see Google and Elon Musk get together with Starlink and Stadia. Let's make it happen.
Stadia Link?
Stadia Link.
Purple's like, nah.
No, but I was like, you need to go. What is it called? Copyright that, or something. I was like,
Purple, send me a message. Don't say it again. Write it down. Search the database right now. That would be nice, though. Oh, there we go, Squid. Stadia. That kind of sound. I don't know. That kind of sounds bad. That sounds. I don't know. That sounds like something you put on like your in your like fish sandwich or something.
Be right back.
Can you
Gonna
pass me
go
that
play on my
Stadia?
Stadia.
Right? Can you hand me that Stadia, please? Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my fish and chips. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that right there.
TMI, Squid.
Right.
You don't even know about that.
Hit us up in chat, Squids, about that.
So, what do you think they're going to be talking about at the developer summit?
But we gotta say Cowboy just stepped in, so I just saw that.
Did he just step? Where's Cowboy? Oh, I missed him. He is.
You know, we gotta shout out the original. So
okay. What's going on, beautiful people? I woke up from an hour referring. Okay, I see you, beautiful people. I'm referring to Purple. Okay. All right. Okay. A little confusing.
I know Mayne. That's competition for you.
Nah. I was just gonna say I was a little confused by the way that the sentence structure was put. You said beautiful people instead of saying beautiful person, and then you got my hopes up. Is all I'm saying. I thought you was talking about me. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, Cowboy knows how to make an entrance.
Yes, he does.
Host, it's got to be called Nebula, as that's cloud and cloud. That's actually pretty nice. That would be nice. Nebula. Yeah.
They better do it for. Well, it won't.
And then
it would never happen.
Disney and Marvel.
Amazon.
Then Disney and Marvel say, actually, we own that name. Shut it down.
Copyright.
Shut it down now. She's a sister to Gamora. Shut it down. Come on, another name. No, okay. So you know what, Cowboy? Don't try to come in here and butter me up now if you messed up. Don't try to. No, you know what? I don't have time for this. Okay, I don't. Nah, I'm okay. Nice. No. Come on, man. No one has hair like your beautiful. You know what? Nice try. See?
Yeah. I'm doing
you made your choice.
Roundhouse kicks right now in the air for Cowboy.
I'm gonna give him a karate chop. There we go. Look at that. See that? See? Too fast. See? It's way too fast. You gotta watch out. You'll catch it. You'll catch it if you slow it down. Play it at like 0.25. You'll catch it. Let's see. But guys, I honestly think we are going to hear something to push Stadia forward for the fans in a very positive way. I think so too. I think we're in for a treat. I think that, of course, once people understand that this is not like, who knows, they might surprise us and be like, hey, in between these, these speeches or these proofs of what we're doing and these concepts, all the things that we're getting ready to do, they may throw in a trailer or two to surprise us. We don't know. They may do something that.
They might. Maybe they'll say something about World War Z.
Yeah,
or something like that.
they may say, "Hey, showing off this tech, we're doing this. Hey, showing it off, we're gonna run this game that you guys might know about." And boom, there you go. It's still dev related, but they're just giving us a glimpse at a game. They might do something like that too. It's possible.
Well, but we know they're going to be talking about porting games.
Yes. I believe that are Microsoft compatible. I believe they mentioned something like that. Yeah,
being able to run Windows native games.
I'm down with that. I would love that.
Yeah. And I was just watching another stream earlier and I was talking on there about it. What if they announced that they made it like super easy to port Windows games over, and now they're like, so now all of a sudden they plan to bring like 50 more games this year, or 1,000 more games, or whatever, 10 games, whatever it is. But
it's quite possible. I think
that's something that could happen. But,
for the most part, it's just developer stuff. Yeah.
But I'm definitely expect to hear about porting and what's the other thing? Maybe even white label.
Okay. Were you getting ready to say something earlier, Purple?
I was. I'm just waiting for the next version of Stadia's Dead articles. I have fun with those. So, I just wanted to see them you know, Stadia's dead. They're trying to port games over, save the platform. Something where it's like Stadia's doing something great.
It's now a port platform.
It's turned like the other way around. I just want to see how creative.
You know it'll happen. You know it'll happen. Here come the next article talking about a support platform now, and then this and that.
That's I just gotta go with it now, just like to look at the evolution of what's going on.
Yeah, you gotta chronicle it. Yeah, I think
man.
But I do still think that regardless, for the most part, we're gonna see a lot of like numbers things. We're gonna see how things work. We're gonna see the nuts and bolts of everything. This is what people wanted to see. And I think they had a poll and they asked the people what they wanted to see, and this is what we're going to get. And I think even still, there's going to be a group of people who naturally aren't into these kind of things, right? Myself, PurpleHaze, I'm sure yourself, we're interested in that kind of thing. So I'm sure like Purple is going to have like, she's going to need something to calm her down, because she's probably going to be so excited.
Dude,
she's going to have all
like...
kind of stuff just to keep her, you can be walking, pacing back and forth. Oh my God, a graph. You know what I mean? Like, see? So I think this is for those people and everybody else. They may tune out and they may focus on the earlier, announcements for the games and whatnot. But for those people who want to see, like I said, the behind the scenes, where it's going, what's been happening, what's changed, what's coming, I think that this is for those people.
For sure, for sure. If you think TED Talks are boring, then this is not for you.
Oh yeah, I love them personally, but it may not be your speed. And in that case, be happy with the games that they announced and put out, and things that they got working in the pipeline that's coming later on, and just go that route. My man Ryan, what's going on, man? Thank you for showing up, man. How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Cowboy says, I have a feeling after Tuesday, the Stadia is dead narrative will be dead.
We need to pin that.
That's pretty good.
Somebody's going to take a screenshot of that and then throw it in your face, Cowboy. Somehow, some way. They will. But I believe that. I'm going to stand by that. I'm actually stand by you on that one.
So, Mayne.
Yeah.
It's Lopey Monk.
Don't do this.
Mayne Games. And Wingstar.
You already know what it is.
Shout out to Wingstar.
Shout out to my boy Wingstar. What's good, my man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're living good.
Yeah, check out winbydesign.com.
Brought to you by winbydesign.com. The finest in all of your online apparel.
But yeah, man. So we didn't get to chat too much earlier since you were a little behind. But
no, go ahead. Say what it is. I was late. Let me talk to the camera. I'm sorry. Listen,
a little late.
I was late. Listen, I'm sorry. I was late. That's my bad. Okay, I had some things I was doing. Okay, life. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. Okay. I'll get as close as I need to. I'm sorry. Do you hear me? I apologize. Listen to me. Look at my eyes. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. But anyway, I had to make sure that they understood. They look into my eyes, making sure that I'm sincere. I'm real sincere. But I almost climbed on the table, but I don't want to mess with the keyboard. But listen, we didn't get a chance to talk that much, but I'm glad that we kind of held it off because it makes things that much more interesting, man. So let's do it.
Yeah, man. So let's start from the beginning. What brought you to cloud gaming?
Oh man, you know what? Me or is this for Purple?
This is for you. I talked to Purple. You missed it, man. See what happens.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Touche. What brought me to cloud gaming, man? For me, growing up, I've had a couple consoles growing up, but I've always been drawn to handheld devices. I've always been fascinated with being able to play on the go. And so I didn't really I probably to this day have had more handheld consoles or more portable gaming setups than I ever had stationary consoles or PCs and things like that. the way I grew up, I grew up in a family of ministers and musicians and people in church. So I was always on the go. Like I did homework at church. I made friends at church. Like, that's what I was always gone. So having a Game Boy or having something, a PSP or whatever, would always like, it would scratch that itch, and I wouldn't have to worry about chords or things like that. And so over time, I started to hear about, gaming setups, and even going so far back as like Liquid Sky and other places where they say, hey, you have a PC that's online servers and you could play that way. And I kind of got dabbled into that, and then over time I heard about Stadia and xCloud and all these different things, and I was like, you know what, this might be something that I could jump into. And that's kind of how it started. I just was looking around and dabbling around and what I could do, and it just made me realize once again, like, hey man, you have these phones, you have these tablets, you can go ahead and get back to that way that it used to be, where you could play and not have to worry about any chords or not being able to have the strongest rig or whatever the case may be. So it was probably like a year and a half ago that I really got into it, and I've loved it, man. Just that convenience and being a dad and being able to fire up a game whenever. I love it, man. And that's kind of how it started for me.
So what got you into streaming?
Ooh, okay. So this was actually something that I just started streaming June of last year. I believe so. And I think what got me into streaming, man, was it actually the recommendation of a couple of my friends. They were saying, hey, man, we think that you have this kind of personality that would translate well into streaming. And we think that some of the things you could do or some of the things you could say might translate well. And we think that you should try it. And for a while, I was like, nah, man, I'm not going to do that. At that point, I didn't think I had anything, or I was valuable enough to be able to put out something in that way and to play games, something that I love, but also have that element of, me being there, me being present and interacting with the community. I just didn't see it at that time. And over time, I just started to watch other streamers and some of my friends, and I one day just decided to try it out, man. And I said, you know what? I'd rather live knowing that I tried instead of asking what if. And so that's what I did, man. And I've loved it ever since. There's some growing pains, you look bad on camera, you talk a certain way. There's things that happen, but the more and more I started to do it, I was like, oh, this is good. And I started to meet awesome people, and just being in I guess in communication with a lot of people who were like-minded, and it took off, and I've been doing it ever since. And I've really enjoyed it. Shooky Chris says, when you on the beach digging for seashells and you find a diamond, you found mango. I appreciate that, man, but my man hyped me up, so it's pressure now. I gotta make sure I'm nice and poor. I gotta sit up straight. Wait.
But yeah, it's a strange thing when you first start out and it's just you and a microphone.
No, yeah, it is. It is. It really is, man. It was very difficult trying to translate, because if you look at I wish you could look at some of my older videos. Some of my first streaming videos, man, literally it was like this. And me just looking at it, just playing the game. That's it. That's all it was. Literally. And then over time, I was just like, you know what? I got to change things up. And I started to show more personality and started to interact more. And it turned into what it is now. And in that way, in that sense, I attribute my growth socially, because I really wasn't that social like that either. So that growth in that way, and then being able to talk to other people and do more multiplayer things and just engage with people, streaming really did build those qualities and build those skills and all that for me. And without that, and the people who have helped me along the way, whether it was viewers or somebody sending me a message in a DM saying, hey, if work on this or try to work on that, it all helped me to be the person that I am when I'm doing the things that I'm doing. So I'm very helpful, not very helpful, but very grateful to the people who were helpful in what I'm now doing.
Okay. One word answer. Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube. Hot seat, but YouTube. For me.
Dark mode or light mode?
Dark mode.
Yeah, right? What kind of madman runs around in light mode?
I don't know, but with W27, I see you, and I will answer that question in just a second. I don't know if you have any more questions for me, man, but I definitely want to
hit
address
that
that.
up. What's it
Okay,
got?
so Wit says, any advice for people who are thinking about getting into streaming? You know what? Honestly, my most sincere advice that I would tell you if you were getting started into streaming is just try it and just start. You got to start before you're ready. Push play, just push record and get in there and just start. What I've learned is that the minute you start asking yourself, okay, well, when am I going to get this camera? When am I going to get this microphone? All that stuff, it's going to add up to time that you could have used to get experience. And you'll look back on that and say, listen, I'm glad that I just started and just got into it, because look at all the experience. Look how much I've grown since then. Instead of saying, hey, it's been 2 years. I've collected all the equipment. Showtime. And now you got to start from scratch. In a sense, you got the equipment, but you haven't gained those skills. So I think that if you just start, I know it's nerve wracking. I know it's scary, but there's people out there who can help you. There's people who would be able to help walk you through certain things. There's people out there that may be looking for you, maybe waiting for you. Just get out there and try it.
About how many users are online on YouTube?
There's 2 billion users on YouTube a day. So there's people out there for you. Whether or not, you believe that, there's people out there for you. You can do it.
I started streaming because I was able to with Stadia. It gave me that ability. I started with no microphone.
Yeah.
And I still don't use a camera. I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to go get through 100 videos.
Yeah.
And if I can make an improvement with each one and be able to look and see that improvement, then I'll keep going. And then I get a microphone, and I put a little effort into it, and things are coming along. So if you're out there and you're thinking about doing this, man, just take the leap, jump for it.
Yeah, I think that's very important. But also, let's not. I don't also want to just preach prosperity to you, right? There's going to be some moments where it's going to be tough. There's some moments where you're going to have some struggles. There's some times where things aren't going to go the way that you anticipate or would have liked them to go. But I think that if you are persistent and you believe in what you're doing, those moments will happen few and far in between. And again, you'll notice steady growth it may not be in areas that you want, like analytics and things like that, but it may change as far as your perception of how you're presented. It may change as far as the way you sound, your mixing of your streams, and or whatever it is that you're doing, your content creation, your editing. There's moments where you're going to have some setbacks, and you just have to understand that you have to take the good with the bad. And if you really want to do this, then it's possible. You just have to understand what it requires. And sometimes you will have those ups and you will have those downs. So please understand that it's not always great, but it's not always bad either. What about that unsaid rule to not promote your YouTube channel on someone else's channel at Mayne Games? Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Climax, because this seemed to be something that rubbed you the wrong way. I think that now that we're talking about it, I think that there's certain things that you could and you should and you shouldn't do. It's different for everybody, but I think that when it comes to promoting your channel on somebody else's channel, it's one of those things where if I'm on a stream, right? If PurpleHaze is doing a stream, and if you're doing a stream, and let's say that she's having a good time and everybody's talking, everybody's chatting, and then somebody comes in and says, "Hey, guys, getting ready to go live in 2 minutes. Come check me out." It could rub Purple the wrong way, in a way, because it's like, hey, right, I'm doing my thing here, and it may come off a certain way. Now, if it's like, hey,
right, I'm doing my best to get people here, and you're trying to take people away,
it could be seen that way, right? Not saying that it is, but it could be seen that way sometimes. So I think in those situations, I think it's best to have that communication with the person and say, hey, man, or hey, hey, sir, miss, whatever. Hey, we're getting ready. I want to know if it's okay if I do this or whatever, blah, 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 in between, or, every now and then. Hey, you're cool. Yeah, I'm cool with that. There's some people okay with it, but there's some people who are just like, that's not cool. Don't do that. Right. So I think I wouldn't say it rubbed you the wrong way, but you probably misunderstood that when I said that one day, like, hey, man, it's okay. But sometimes it's like, don't come in here all the time to certain people's channels. Just like, hey, gonna plug my stuff all the time. I think that could be seen the wrong way too, but it's all up to the person, man. And I apologize to you, Climax, if that was something that was misinterpreted or that was changed. So I probably shouldn't have said rub you the wrong way, but just if it was misinterpreted that way, but that's not, how that came across on my end. But yeah, there's a lot of waters you have to navigate, a lot of things that you will come across that you have to work out, and some of those situations may arise. And that's another thing to those people who would be streamers and are trying to get into this. You're going to have moments like that where you're not going to know how to handle situations, or you're not going to know what to do at that point in time. You have to just be ready for those moments, because they do happen.
Yeah, especially while you're live streaming. It's like, in a way, you're doing a juggling act.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. But yeah, that's that, man. Did you have any other one word questions? Because that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we can go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. xCloud.
Getting there. Oh wait, I'll say almost.
Almost. Okay. How about Luna?
Welcome.
Ooh. PurpleHaze.
Fabulous.
Mayne Games.
Pass.
Oh. Yeah, those are crazy, right?
Yeah. When you I don't know. It's one of those things where I can't. It's weird talking about yourself in that way.
When I did that earlier, it just popped in my head while we were
It's
talking.
weird. It's really weird. That was good though. That was a good way to put me. Yeah, that was good.
So okay, so you stream on YouTube, but you still stream on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I do that. I recently added another day to my streams. Well, actually, moved my Twitch streams to Saturdays. I took a break for a while. I was multi-streaming, and then it was something that I just took a break from because it was expensive and all these other different things, and I just wanted to focus more on YouTube for a little while, and then I started to add everything back. So I'm now doing it on Saturdays, and I love it, man. It's actually pretty cool to interact with the people who I started with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this experience this last week, us hanging out behind the scenes, me, you, and Windstar, it's been a lot of fun, and I hope we can keep the energy going.
I do too, man. But Holtz, no, pass was not the answer. Pass was me passing. I didn't want to answer that question. That's what that means. Holtz was like, "Wait, I'm confused. Is that what you're saying?" No, I'm saying that if I must, and do I have to answer the question? Do I have to answer the question? What do you say, PurpleHaze? Do I have to answer? Should I answer the question?
I'll answer for you. Inspiring.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. There you go. I had to phone a friend.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to.
Yeah, man.
Squids. That's my phone a friend right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, you gotta do that. So Mayne Game said, I feel like if you're going to give someone advice about live streaming, tell the bad along with the good. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of that. I definitely don't know if we should get into that now. I gave some moments where you're gonna feel a certain way. Like for me, I mean, I guess I could tell one thing is that for a while I was very lonely, and by that is that, for instance, when you're not just streaming, right? I'm also doing other videos and things like that. There's moments where you want to have that group of friends who are also doing what you're doing, and the same way that you're doing it, and have another way of kind of bouncing ideas off of you and things like that. And I didn't have that for a while. I didn't have a support system in that regard. I didn't have a person I could call up at 1 a.m. and be like, hey man, I'm trying to do this jump cut. How do you do it? Or this L cut. I didn't have anybody like that. So you're going to have moments like that where you're going to have to figure out a lot of stuff on your own. and sometimes I've had to sit there at my desk for 12 hours trying to figure out how to edit things and how to put things together because there was nobody around who could jump in and show me. There's moments like that you're going to have sometimes. I'm doing my best to make sure that I surround myself with people who not only can add value to me and help me and teach me things, because I'm always a student, but I also want to make sure that in turn I have something that I can give them as well. And if you can find those people, you'll be all the better for it, and you'll be able to learn from a lot of those people's mistakes that other people have made a lot sooner. And I wish that I had that, but you may come across those moments where you will have to have some growing pains on your own.
Yeah, especially like
Not
I was saying, it's kind of
good,
weird at first when you're just talking to a microphone and a camera. And when you have, but it gets better like when you have somebody else that they're doing the same thing. So it's
right. And it's motivating too. It's motivating and it's inspiring to be able to say, hey, you could say, hey, Purple, I love the way that you do your edits for your videos and things like that. And can I get some tips? And then Purple says, yeah, so this is how I do it. This is what you do. What program do you use? Okay, well, even if Purple may not know the program, she may not be familiar with that program. She may say, okay, well, editing is pretty much the same in any program, in a way, no matter how you slice it, pun intended. But this is what I usually do to create these clips and things like that. And to have somebody like that is very, very beneficial. You could learn on your own, and you'll feel more prouder for it, right? Because you went through the trenches, you went through the mud on your own. But it'll be great to have somebody who's been there to be like, hey, young Padawan, come on over here. I can steer you away from that pothole I see you're getting ready to go into. You don't have to go that way.
You could do it that way.
You could, or you can see PurpleHaze. You know what I mean? She'll help you. But you're right though. I appreciate that, and that's true, Climax. And isn't it? I will help. I really will, and I'll do my best to help. I don't care how long it takes. If you have a question, you need help, I'm here. There's other people. Windstar, Lo-Fi Monk. There's a lot of people out there that are just as knowledgeable and can help. And if not, we'll find someone who can. That's it. Squid says, I like potholes. Of course you do.
But yeah, dude, I think it's really cool that we got PurpleHaze on the show. It's like, man, dude, you come up in so many conversations behind the scenes. She does. Like all the time.
She knows.
Yeah, you add a lot of value to the community. So it's amazing to have you here with us. Like, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I don't think she knows how popular she is.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me, and it's I always think it's fun. Lo-Fi, we were talking, and I think we've been talking about the tech that's happening, how far cloud gaming is ahead of everything. But I really think, me personally, the secret sauce Stadia has is the community. I think this is a phenomenal community.
I love the community.
It's been awesome getting to know people, to game with people, to learn from so many streamers and people who've been doing this for a while. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm honestly, I'm excited to be able to finally meet you in personally. Like, yeah, I've heard a lot about you, and man, it's such a pleasure to be able to share the screen with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. And like you, Mayne, like you're awesome to talk to.
Thanks, man.
Dude, I've had so much fun talking to you the past couple of days getting ready for the show. So thanks for joining me. Yeah,
I apologize for the lateness, man. Again, I guarantee it won't happen again. Guarantee.
I was just messing with you, bro. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I will say I don't think we touched on with W27. Is there a market for streamers who have not gotten good yet, or get good first then stream? Asking for a skill challenged friend. I'm the friend, by the way. Yeah, I think that there is a market for everybody. I think that you can kind of figure out a way to chronicleize your journey, right? So if you haven't gotten good yet, or whatever the case may be, there's a way that you can do it in a way that people will be able to grow with you and see that journey. So even if you haven't gotten good yet, or whatever the case may be, I think that there's people out there who would appreciate you showing that journey, and they would stick by you because they've grown with you. So I think there's absolutely a market for anybody and any group of people that want to get into it. So yeah. I think there's
It's
somebody.
crazy.
There's always somebody for you.
Because the whole thing is just a conversation. You just talk to the camera, ask questions, and people will respond.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy. You can get feedback.
Absolutely.
So just got to put yourself out there. So, Mayne, go ahead and tell the people what you got going. Tell them about your socials and where they can find you, and
oh man,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube at Mayne Games, Mayne Space Games. I'm also on Twitch at Mayne_games. I'm on Twitter, Mayne_games. You can follow me there. I talk about all kind of things: games, movies, coffee, hot chocolate, whatever I'm interested in. I talk about it, and I encourage people to reach out to me there and have a conversation with me there too as well. I'm doing all sorts of different content. I do live streams. I do inspirational or motivational videos, also how-tos, guides. I do main plays where I play playthroughs of games. I'm currently playing Scarlet Nexus. There's all sorts of things that I'm doing. I have podcasts that I'm on. But there's all sorts of different things that I'm on and doing. And if you guys want to know more, of course, hit me up and check me out. And we'll definitely talk and see about hooking up and getting something started if you guys want to. Yeah, that's me.
Man, thanks for coming on the show, dude. I can't wait till we do this again for sure. PurpleHaze, thank you for being here. You're going to be here tomorrow, huh? We got an interview with, I got an interview.
I think so. Obviously talking, so definitely let's talk. I'm definitely gonna try to make it for sure.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna have Suave Polo, the climax. He's gonna be on here. We're gonna be talking about all kinds of stuff, especially the Dawn of the Monsters. So, yeah, man. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm Lo-Fi Monk. Links in the description. Join the Discord because it's popping in there. If you need help with anything streaming or any of that, Mayne Games has a Discord. He's really helpful. He's got a really good Discord. And if you'd like to help out the channel, there's a little tippy tip link down in the description too. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Later, everybody. Have a good night, y'all.